IGUALES.
So Iga, a pleasure to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you for
First
having
of
me.
all, do you like the set and everything?
I love it. It's just, the design is great and a lot of colors, so I like it. A lot of energy.
I gotta tell you, we gotta take a sneak view of you over here.
Oh, that's me?
That's you, yeah?
I have the best outfit.
Definitely, out of all of them, definitely, with the unicorn stuff. What was like the unicorn? Because I see you in costumes, and then I also saw the pic of you in the unicorn, and I see people like wearing the T-shirts of you in the unicorn costume and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, what's all about that?
It was in pandemic basically, and there was this challenge to play against the wall as many volleys as you can in a row. So I wanted to make it fun because I was just pretty bored, and staying home for 2 months wasn't easy. So that was just this day was a little bit more fun than most of the days. So,
Yeah, definitely. Like staying at home for that long, it was tough. It was tough for like pretty much all the people. But like in tennis, obviously, you stayed at home for 2 months. But then when times went on, you actually in Australia, you had to be like quarantined for like 15 days or so, I think.
It depends. Some of the players, had a situation like that. But in our case, we were lucky to just have a shorter quarantine, and then we were able to practice for 5 hours on courts. But I would say, overall coming back home, forgetting about COVID a little bit, just being back home with family and staying in one place for a while was nice. So I would say for sure, like it was weird because we didn't know, when we're gonna be back on tour. But I think it gave me a lot of good stuff, coming back home. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess being back home, you had time to read as well because like I
was studying that was
Yeah?
like last year of my high school, so I was
last
studying
year.
a lot. I think without that break I would have much worse grades in this last year.
Did you like finish with good grades as well, or?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm proud of it. So.
Oh, that's hard. Like being on the professional circuit and everything, like on tour, and actually getting to study as well. That's gotta be like extra hard.
Yeah, well, that was my life. I felt like I have 2 jobs a little bit. So
Yeah.
well, for sure, my career in tennis was a little bit less professional back then, but it was super important for me to finish school, and it was my priority when I was younger. So I wanted to finish it well, and for sure, the pandemic gave me more time to study before like the most important exams that we have in Poland. So so I kind of used that time for a good reason, I would say.
Yeah, definitely a good reason. Yeah. In this podcast, like we obviously talk about tennis, but you get so many interviews, like talking about professional tennis and stuff, and I know about tennis, but I don't know that much. But I just wanted to take this time, obviously, to talk many things, but to talk about the reading with Iga stuff because I'm a big reader myself, and also about the mental health awareness and stuff because I think you do a great job over there.
Thank you.
So first of all, read with Iga. Wow, where did that came from? Because like I don't know, it's just
from my head, basically. No, I mean, I was on vacation last year after the season, and I was just kind of summing up what I read for the whole year, and it was more than 20 books.
20.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
Well, there are people that read more, but
For youngsters
I'm not pushing
like
it.
us, I would say it's a lot. Like 20 is much.
I spent like most of my free time reading, so but yeah, so I was making that list, and I was thinking how many books other people read, and maybe if it would be nice to kind of post on Twitter a little bit about it and start a discussion, and maybe people would also tell me what I should read. So it was an idea like that, but then it became a challenge. So I can actually kind of motivate people to read and also tell a little bit about the books. So I think, I just felt like this is a pretty cool thing to do because there are not a lot of people who are reading, and it should, it would be nice if it would be a habit of some, young people and teenagers. So I kind of wanted to give a good example, but also to remind people that reading is fun and it shouldn't be a burden or something that you just do for school.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
So I'm trying to choose the books that will kind of teach people something, but on the other hand, they're just going to be like easygoing and it's going to be fun to read them.
Yeah, I guess when you're in school and you're like 13, 14, whatever, and they kind of make you read books, it could be like maybe sometimes you're trapped in a cage having to read them, but it's actually like a lot of fun. I wouldn't say like I'm a big reader myself, but like I would say since pandemic and maybe 2019, I tried to start reading books. At the start, it was kind of like maybe I'm not concentrated on reading them, but I gotta get through this so I get to the point where I'm actually enjoying them. Because I see like my parents, my grandma, my family, like older people than me enjoy to read books. I didn't enjoy it. I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Well, I always enjoyed it. For sure, the ones that we had to read for school, it was sometimes annoying because of deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I was coming back from a tournament, I just had, 2 days to read it, so it was tough. But the ones that I'm picking by myself, usually they're really fun. And when I'm on tournaments, I want to read something that is kind of gonna take my head off all these problems, and it's gonna be a good time spent. So it's only sometimes when I choose to read something that needs my brain to work, you know. So usually it's just fun.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like you just gotta read novels and just get out of your head, because like I remember like my favorite author is Stendhal, and I remember like every time I hop into one of his books, it feels like I just go into Italy, 15th century.
Yeah, exactly.
And not think
Different
about
world.
Completely different world. So for me, it's just like it was spot on. Like I just moved to a different world.
Yeah, that's the biggest fun.
Yeah. Do you like read novels or?
Well, I read mostly novels, and I really like historical fiction. So basically, I feel like, it's fun because it's fiction, and the author, he chooses the characters that are gonna do something that is interesting. But on the other hand, it also involves history and some, kings or some empires that were really there. So I can learn a little bit how people lived back in those days, and that's like a perfect combination. But obviously there are not like not every book is like that, so I also read some romance a little bit. And I read fantasy when I was younger, but for now I'm kind of thinking if I should come back or not.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like obviously what you were talking about, like getting to actually know the history by itself, but also having a bit of romance, historical clashes and stuff. I guess like we read kind of the same books. Are you like into physical books or ebooks, let's say?
So for most of my life I've read in paper, and when people told me that I should read on Kindle or different stuff, I was like, I don't know if it would be fun. Like you don't feel the smell or you don't hear the flavor, so I was resistant. But then I was traveling so much that it was kind of stupid for me to like have 6 books in my luggage and pay for an extra luggage and just carry them on my back for many hours in the airports. So I bought a Kindle, and now I'm kind of, sometimes I'm reading on Kindle, sometimes a normal book. Like here I even have Leonardo da Vinci's. I started it yesterday, so I can't really say a lot, but maybe this is going to be the next reading challenge. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Like you would say it's the next challenge in a month or so, maybe?
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
That makes sense. I'm actually like, I'm trying to get into Kindle and ebooks and stuff, because like I'm a mess. I just like forget my books at airplanes, at buses and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that never happened to me.
No, it doesn't happen.
For me, like I always remember about it. Like it would be my phone, So
it makes sense.
I don't get it.
I get it. I traveled back from London on Monday, and I was reading like short story books about Stendhal, and I forgot it at the plane. I was like, I was so frustrated, so frustrated. But I guess ebooks make more actually sense than me. So talking about mental health awareness as well, you're really into it. I guess like it's a thing about our generation as well, in a sense. Like I'm 24, I'm a bit older, but do you think pretty much everyone should like open their minds about it and talk about it many more in interviews and open up as well?
Well, no, because I kind of respect that somebody wants to keep it to themselves, and I also know that not everybody, needs help, and not everybody needs somebody. Not everybody is so open to kind of talk about their feelings. So it depends on the person and on the character. And I always felt that in sports, mental training is a really important part of our game, and we have to kind of work on it the same way as we do on fitness or on tennis. So that's how it started for me. But then for sure, when I started working with a psychologist that I started to, trust a little bit more, it's the same one that I'm working with right now, so Daria Abramovic. I realized that there's also some off-court stuff that I need to take care of, so I can really kind of set my mind free and be a better player on court. So that's what I felt that I need. But I also get that there are people who want to kind of work on that by themselves. I just never felt like I have all these skills to manage that. So that's why I always felt like it's gonna be just easier if I use the help of a specialist. And it was a good decision because I felt like I matured, faster. I was able to handle a lot of stress and a lot of different experiences. And I think without that, I wouldn't be in that place right now, and I wouldn't be so consistent. So for sure, career-wise, it helped me a lot. But also as a person, I feel like I'm working on myself.
I would love to talk about this much more and hoping about mental awareness and stuff, but unfortunately, we don't have much more time. So Iga, it's been a pleasure. We hope you win the tournament.
Thank you so much.
Because I don't only
let's just think about first match now.
let's think about the first match. So anytime you want to hop back on, I would love to have you here and talk about these things much more. But yeah, final words maybe.
Well, thank you for the support, and hopefully I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks, so maybe we're gonna have a chance to talk. But for now, priority is practice. So see you guys.
Let's go for practice. See you. Pleasure.
Thank you.